Hello and welcome to the 4-7 notes. All right, so in this section, we're going to be presented with two triangles that share one side. We are going to have to figure out, there's only four, as you can see, 4 examples here, so it'll be quick. We're going to have to figure out which side is the shortest on 2 of them, and then on 2 of them, we're going to have to figure out which side is the longest. So in this first one, by the way, this is supposed to be a D up here. Got cut off. So this first one, we have to figure out which side is the shortest. So out of all these sides, which one is the shortest? In order to do that, we have to figure out of the 2 triangles that we have here. So we got one triangle right here. Second triangle's right here. We have to figure out which one of those is the smaller one, because the smaller triangle will have the smaller side. So as we can see, we got 90-degree angles here. So let's look at this triangle here first, ABC. So this is 90, this is 30. So the missing angle here, since all 3 angles have to add up to 180, has to be 60. So 90, 50, so all 3 of these have to add up to 180. So if I do some quick math, I would know that this has to be 40. So now, I'm going to look at the side that they share. So this is the hypotenuse for this bottom triangle because this side is opposite of this 90-degree angle right here. So this is the longest side of this triangle ABC. The opposite angle of this side for the top triangle is 50 degrees. So this is not even the longest side of this triangle. So since this is not even the longest side, this, in fact, right here would be the longest side of ADC. So I know, since this is the same length in each triangle, because it's the same line, if this is the longest side of the bottom triangle, this bottom triangle has to be a smaller triangle. So this bottom triangle is going to have the smaller side. So now I just have to look at the 3 angles. So which angle is the smallest, since I'm trying to find the shortest side? That would be 30 degrees. So 30 degrees is opposite of AB. So the side AB is the shortest. So let's try that again on the next example. Let's use a different color. So which side is the longest? This time we have to figure out which side is the longest. So I'm going to first want to know which triangle is the bigger triangle. So I got 81 degrees, 70 degrees. Those add up to 151 if I add them together. So 180 minus 151 would tell me the third angle is 29 degrees. Then I can do the same thing over here. So 68 plus 36. So when I add those 2 together, I get 104. Then 180 minus 104 would tell me the third angle is 76. Hopefully I did that math correct. So now I'm going to look at the side that they share. So 81 here is the biggest angle on this triangle ABC. 81, the opposite side, is the side that they share. If I look at the side opposite of angle D, is also the shared side. This is also the biggest angle. So what that tells me is that this side is going to be the biggest side for both triangles. So this one's kind of tricky because now I have to look at the 2 angles. So since these are both the biggest angles, this is the longest side for each triangle. So if it's actually it's not that tricky. If it's the longest side for both triangles, it's going to be the longest side in the whole figure. So AC is the longest side. Next example. So which side is the shortest? So again, first thing I want to do, I need to know the angles that are opposite of this side. So I could find the third angles in each of these triangles. So 68 plus 70 is 138. And then 180 minus 138 is 42. So that tells me that this angle is 42 degrees. And that bottom triangle, I have an 84 and a 53. So if I add those two together, I get 137. And then 180 minus 137 is 43, which tells me this is 43 degrees. So all I'm doing right here is trying to figure out the missing angle. Because remember, all three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So now if I look at this triangle, I got 68 is opposite of the shared side. And that's not the biggest side. It's the second biggest side because it's the second biggest angle. 43, that is the smallest angle out of all three of these. So this is the shortest side of this triangle. Since this is the shortest side, that means that this triangle is bigger, because if this is the shortest side of the triangle, it's not the shortest side of this one. This bottom triangle has to be bigger. So then I got to figure out which side is the shortest. So I want to look at the smallest triangle. So if I'm looking at the smallest triangle, which angle is smallest? That'd be 42. And the side that is opposite of 42 would be AB. So again, AB is the shortest side. And then finally, our last example. Which side is the longest? So, well, let's figure out the missing angle. So 87 plus 41 is 128. And then 180 minus 128 is 52. So this angle is 52 degrees. And then this angle over here, so 65 plus 50. Oops, erase that. Is 115. And then 180 minus 115 is 65. So this angle is 65 degrees over here. So again, we're trying to find the longest side. So first thing I need to do is I look at the shared side and look at the two opposite angles. So 87 is opposite, and then 50. So I want to know which triangle is bigger out of these two. So this angle is 87. That's the highest angle out of this triangle. So that means this is the longest side of the left triangle. 50 is the smallest angle. So that means this is the smallest side for this triangle. So if this is the smallest side, these two sides have to be bigger than this one. And for the left one, remember, this was the longest. So if these two are bigger than this one, this is the right triangle is definitely bigger. So now I need to find the biggest angle of the big triangle because I'm trying to find the longest side. So 65 and 65, well, they're both the same. So that means we have two sides that are the longest. And I forgot to label these. This should be A, B, C, and D. So side BD and side CD. So we have two answers in this one because these two angles are the same, are the longest sides. And that will be it for the notes.